What's up, baby dolls? Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news. The Bitcoin price at 104,000 American dollars. Nothing else really to see. We have now concluded the first 5 months of the year. They have been horrific. They've been pretty much trash. Only BTC has been going up. But people holding BTC maxi portfolios, you got to be careful as well, because we know why you've been going up, and it's turbo leverage. That's what it's come down to. The Ethereum price is still shocking. It's around $2,500. The Ethereum ETF spot flows, friends, actually funny. I'll give you some quick reports on the spot flows. There were some typos here. It's kind of funny. So originally, the typo came out that Bitcoin had $616 million in, and Ethereum only had $70, right? But it turned out to be a double typo here. Bitcoin had 616 million outflows, and Ethereum had $70 million in, which is interesting. So we are seeing some rotations out here in these spot ETFs. It could also reflect the ETH-BTC stuff moving up. Remember, Ethereum is still stuck in that big fat triangle. And we're going to have a look at the Bitcoin weekly chart. Nothing else really to see. We know we're on borrowed time as well. We had like 7 green weekly candles in a row, whatever it was. And then we have a pause reset, 104,000. A lot of people think it's the cycle's over, friends. Remember, I made some videos yesterday to tell you, like, I'm not going to shut my mouth. Like, the Bitcoin conference, you know bad stuff is there. Everything you've been listening to me, I'm giving the highest value content in crypto. Okay, you got to watch this UFO video as well, friends. $21 trillion black budget missing. Catherine Fitz. Yes, well, I made these emergency warning videos. Yeah, urgent. Like, it's true that we have to talk about, friends, when you have Tiffany Fong posing with Andrei, Jikh, and Steve Aioki, bro, you guys are like intergalactic cosmic top signals. You're not early, bro, to anything. You guys have the mainstream populace. How can you be early? You can't be early. You can't. So the thing though is, it's hard to reconcile, because I gave you just a game of probabilities, right? This is the OTHERS-btc chart. Man, we've done 6 red in a row. When is this thing when are these things going to turn around? God knows. And look at a closer look at OTHERS-btc, friends. You have Altcoin Daily saying altcoins are done a long time ago, man, about a year ago. You have Trump launches his meme coin, can't move it up. You have Trump announces crypto strategic reserve, like literally nothing. There's nothing that can get these things moving up. Of course, it's the business cycle, though. That's what it really comes down to. So, yeah, man, altcoins can't move up without the business cycle. But also, that's why, you know, when we say scams pump the hardest, now you know where it also comes from. When the business cycle is up and going up, that's business PMI, right? That's how we track it, and other things as well. But you can't get people to feel bad, right? Because it just doesn't matter. The cycle's going up. They're making money out there in the real world. And, yeah, that's why, you know, that, like I said, that saying, scams pump the hardest in the bull market, because people are just confident. They go, I don't care what it is. I just feel confident no matter what it is, right? Now, obviously, don't go around buying scams, but hopefully we move into that period of time where it's just so much better than the past 4 years of horrific poop there is. So I want to let everyone know as well, there's no one person's fault. It's not one person's selling. It's not one person's decisions. It isn't, man. It's everyone all together. It's the macro cyclical forces. There's literally nothing we can do except wait and continue to believe. This is the Bitcoin dominance, still going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, what seemingly seems like forever. I'm going to remove this yucky ETH-BTC, just the business PMI, just so you know what it looks like in the past, right? Every time the business PMI was ticking up 52, Bitcoin dominance was crashing, like every single time in history. And that's why, obviously, I've shown you that data, put those charts together. And right now, we're waiting for the next data pieces to come through. It takes a bit of a while, a month or two to pretty much get kick-started. So Flash PMI, like I mentioned to you, came out at 52.3. The Flash is like the early reading, which is great. Hopefully the real PMI then comes out on Tuesday. That's going to be around 52. It's pretty much like it will mean that the car is actually moving forward now, right? It's like it's actually moving forward, and they don't need to like keep printing or anything out here. Pulse chain core coins, having a quick look at them, doing absolutely nothing. Poopy red everywhere, nothing to report out here, because Ethereum's not moving, nothing else is moving, nothing else really we can do. Man, but that Bitcoin conference, friends, there's some intergalactic things in there. Like you have hundreds of thousands of just people attention. Like, you know something's happening there. Something's going down. I just want to quickly show you as well. I made that whole video on it, but I'm just going to quickly cover it again here for you. And it's just it's my probabilities of what I think is actually topped out. Now, before we've even started, friends, just remember, it's probabilities, man. So like, just because you give something, so most people don't understand probabilities. So humans, right, we're very, very tainted with this. It's very hard for us to compute probabilities by default. So if I tell you something has a 70% chance of a win and a 30% chance of a loss, right? Let's say like, you have anything, 70% chance to win. We're always going to bet on the win, okay? Because you're like higher odds. Okay, win. But that's not what the outcome's going to be, yeah? Like, out of 10 occurrences, right, it could be, like it could be in 10 occurrences that, the 70% chance to win, 30% chance to lose. Yeah, let's say these two fighters are fighting. It could be that, okay, the loser, the one you thought were going to lose, wins 10 in a row. That could happen. Okay, it's rare, but it could happen, right? So these odds, it's very hard for us to compute in our head and actually pretty much, just think of these all the time. That's why, like, you have to, by default, people get wrecked in markets, right? They come in, people have financial IQ of 70 and get destroyed. So I know something has topped, right? Number one, could it be all of the cryptocurrency industry? I've given it a 5% chance, as I put it right here. And what I'll do is play some Pumpy G music. I've given around 5%, 5 to 10%, whatever. Just basically because I just don't think the whole crypto industry has topped out, because the business cycle's never cracked up. That's it. Most people, if they're considering that the cycle's over, they're just trying to draw a top on Bitcoin. That's what they're doing, right? And they're seeing the state of despair in altcoins as well. They think, because what they're doing is, this is what happens, friends. Most people, okay, they want to be confirmation traders. They want to be confirmation investors. It's the same as buying high. It's the same as selling low. Yeah. So, they use the other words, right? They go, I want to confirm it. So what it basically means is they're saying, well, Bitcoin's gone up for like multiple years, Bitcoin dominance, and altcoins still haven't worked out. So they go, well, okay, that means we have now confirmed Bitcoin's the only thing. Altcoins are going to zero and the cycle's over. But that's how you get wrecked. All right. What actually works is reversion to the mean. Okay. Now, the thing is, what your mean is, you got to be careful of that, right? You can't just go, something went up 2x, I'm going to sell it. Something went down 20%, I'm going to buy it. You got to be careful, right? But on average, if you're looking for opportunities to buy low and sell high, you're going to make it. Now, it's just that it's been an intergalactic multi-year low for altcoins. And that's why a lot of people, like when I'm talking about reversion to the mean, I'm showing you the business PMI, right? That's why a lot of people saying, hey, no, it's confirmed, it's all down. I'm like, look, I don't know when it's going to tick up. I know it is one day. That's why I tell you, believe a cycle. It's been going on for a very, very long time. And I'm more inclined, though, to believe that the cycle's not topped out. And when we do, it will work out good, because it's just been down for so long. Okay, there's not a single weekend left at all. Like, you're a real believer at this point. Now, that's 5% chance of all being over. But what about MicroStrategy? So I put about a 15% chance that the actual MicroStrategy stock has topped out. Now, it is hard to call these, of course. If you look at a linear chart, of course, it looks like just one big fat giant bubble. You can put it on a weekly super trend as well. So this is the monthly, by the way. So let's put on a weekly. Okay, so it's sitting here. So thing is, it did come back down, and it's touched a 61.8 here if you measure it up exactly. I've only given a 15% chance because it could have, see this giant wick, right? It could have this moment where, and it probably will, I'll be honest, it comes up and it chops it. It goes and it just eats the wick. It comes back, it tests and does something up here. Sometimes they go a bit higher, they come back a bit lower. It is what it is, right? I'm just guessing. Okay, once again, just guessing, don't know. But that's why I've only given a 15% chance that MicroStrategy is over, because I do see that in that next leg, even if, altcoins are moving up, there's going to be punters who are going to try to buy. They're going to be the late buyers into MicroStrategy. And remember, MicroStrategy is peak the Bitcoin Treasury bubble. So we're starting to see this a lot. We call it like the BT bubble, BT, right? The BT bubble, Bitcoin Treasury. Obviously, I've started that, but I'm seeing that term. You'll see that term a lot. So I've been referencing it a lot. I've been using this term a lot, Bitcoin Treasury bubble. No one else has used that, but that's an easy way for us to grasp it, right? Because this is the thing, right? When you're living through, say, 2021, no one said, oh, Dogecoin bubble. No, people didn't have these words. They just saw things flying up randomly. It's not like someone said, oh, wow, this coin has gone up the most so far and it will continue going up. Because Dogecoin, friends, remember, many people shorted Doge when it went up to 10 billion market cap, okay? And then it did another 9x on top of that. So when it went up to that 10 billion market cap, it was just like, oh, this thing's expensive. But it was like just part of the pack of everything else out here. It was only at the very, very end that it was explosive. And only after it went down, everyone looks at the big mountain peak and they say, oh, something big had happened here. So actually, I'll just show you that chart right now. So you can see Doge, right? This is pretty much it. Doge pops up here and then Mia Khalifa buys it, your favorite librarian. So Doge comes here and then everyone thinks, oh, wow, it's over. It hit like, a couple of billion market cap. Maybe it was like, like 8 billion or whatever it is. Then it went and did the intergalactic moon up. But you could check this out, man. It was a month of April and May of 2021. So it's only the last 2 months. So the point is you have to see that the terminology and the naming of things, it helps you identify what's going on, but it's always in hindsight. You don't know what's going on, right? That's why I'm saying, Microstrategy, funny, at the price of $369. Yeah, it's not like people are saying, like, we all know, oh, this thing's forming to be a bubble. Yeah, but there's no word out here because, we're in the trenches. We know these things. But other people out here who are like, if they're just, watching just your basic news, maybe you get some shit coining, pumping and dumping, they're not really aware of this Bitcoin Treasury bubble. But still, I give it around, like I say, around a 15% chance. Now, I've given a higher percent chance that the Microstrategy to BTC ratio has topped out, okay? So that's a 30% chance, and now I'll show you that now. Remember, that's a different ratio, right? Because MSTR over BTC USD, and then you have their ratio here. Here it is right now. So this could, remember, friends, these could continue up, okay? Because, like, you just don't know, man. You have billionaires and stuff wanting to buy BTC, Michael Saylor FOMO, right? But that's just, I'm looking at it. It is possible. Even though you're like, oh, but it's got to come back up here. No, MicroStrategy wasn't around the thing here, right? So you're not measuring it up from that moment. You're measuring this thing just from when Chad Saylor buys BTC with their treasury part. So, it went up 300%. You got to remember these things are valued as well. They're stocks, So the meme of stock investors is that it's all about cash flow. Okay, but MicroStrategy's got barely any cash flow. What do they have though? They have, it's funny, their cash flow is borrowing money off people, buying Bitcoin. That's it. And so Bitcoin's theoretical price is up if they were to sell it. So they're like, oh, that's our cash flow. We've appreciated an asset. Which you can value companies and stuff like that. But, the market's giving this thing a premium. So, hopefully though, I'm hoping out of all of these, I'm hoping none of them have topped out really. Okay, what I really, really want is for my highest probability to happen where it's the Bitcoin dominance. Okay, 50% chance of the topped out. Shout out to Mr. Crypto Coffee as well. 4, Captain Jones. R80. All crypto has topped out. All of crypto has topped out. Bitcoin dominance. It's not mega pumping. So, it has been mega pumping. Okay, maybe just over the weekend or whatever. So, remember, Bitcoin dominance. That's why I'm just going off this Bitcoin conference. Like, dude, you know this, friends. You don't get a world where Andrei, Jikh, with 2.5 million YouTube followers, biggest financial guru pretty much in America, one of the top 5, and Tiffany Fongles, and them all, and MySpace Tom, and Steve Aioki, and the vampire dude who wants to live to be 300 years old. You don't get them in the same room to speak and hang out and do all these and go, yeah, we're early, dude. You know what I mean? It's a sign that it's everyone's in, dude. Everyone's in. If everyone's in, who else is left to buy? You got to think about that. That's actually how Richard Hart called the top on Elon Musk's participation in Bitcoin in 2021. Because people were saying, oh, how can Bitcoin have topped out at 60K? This is in 2021 because Elon Musk's in, and Richard Hart was, saying consistently, he goes, look, okay, you got the world's richest man to buy, and he likes it. Okay, who else is left? Is there anybody more popular than the world's richest man? No. It's the world's most popular man, and all over Twitter and the platform. He goes, everyone's heard of it now. That's why the game's hard, friends. It's about positioning. The whole thing's about positioning, right? And not just, you know, Bitcoin, but all markets. It's all about positioning. So who do you think's crowded now? Where do you think, if you think about where's something that's crowded, obviously Bitcoin, like no question about it. Like, I just told you, dangerous numbers, friends. People are willing to leverage buy Bitcoin instead of put a single dollar in Ethereum. That's just like, to give you that perfect example, man. You walk into the car dealer store, you hate the color red. You got a red or a blue Ferrari. You hate the color red, and then, you know, someone's put $1 million bid for the blue Ferrari, and then you hate the color red so much, you bid it up to 10 million just because you don't want the red one, right? Now, it's a bit of, like I said, when you use the example, it's not 100% true because you're saying Bitcoin and Ethereum are the same, which they're not, just like that car. But still, it's around the same ballpark because people don't give a shit about that, dude. People aren't buying for these things. You know they aren't. You know they're just here for number go up. You know they haven't been tested. Let's crack on with some news as well, friends. So I've got the average monthly return for June. It's usually a poop month, seeing a minus 0.35% return. Let's actually look at the table together, you and me. See the month of June here, minus 0.3% average. So these ones are usually garbage out here. All the green times in June were like literally years ago. Actually, kind of funny. The last time we had a green June was Donald Trump cycle. I just noticed it right now live. I'm looking at for you. Look at this. Check it out. 2017, the last time June, the last time we actually had these green month. So we also had this one in 2019, but this one is a bear market recovery one. This one is garbage. Okay, so perhaps June is going to be similar to what we did with Donald Trump. If you want to know, look what Bitcoin did in Donald Trump's move. Look what Bitcoin did pretty much. This is the rest of the year actually for Donald Trump 2017. It went 10%. So last time Donald Trump was in, right? Bitcoin was green, June, July, August, Rectember, and then a blow off at the end of the year. Wow. I wonder if we do that again. Imagine we do that again, friends. That'd be cool if we did that again, right? June, July, August, Rectember, and then we blow off October, November, December. That's what happened last time right here. This is the Donald Trump cycle. Okay. How are Bitcoin and altcoins going to fit into that? I don't know. I don't know. Because like the difference between now and that last Donald Trump cycle was by now, altcoins were already flying. In fact, let me just show you, like they were already topping out soon by now. You know, like they'd run like 20x's, 30x's. Yeah, it's kind of actually depressing when you look at it. Like we've literally got nothing. Literally nothing, man. So look where we were back in June. Actually, we did make the top. Here we are in 2017. ETH-BTC, everything made the top in this period of time, man. And they just run up. Look at their up only, friend. Look at this garbage, bro. This is against Bitcoin, by the way. This is not ETH-USD. Against Bitcoin, Ethereum ran 1,800%, so 19x. So literally, Ethereum did about 100x move. I think went from like, you know, from $1.40 to like whatever it is, or $14 to, yeah, just big. Yeah, it was just totally different now. Totally different. So we'll see how it plays out. Also want to show you, this is another Ricardo. He is the Mexican billionaire. And he said, "Sí, señor, I am considering putting 100% of my portfolio into Bitcoin." So I think it's all just bullshit words. You can't even do that. He's got assets and stuff. But I think it's just like these part of these FOMO-inducing words. He's got a big percentage in here. I forgot how much percent. Maybe 10 or 20%. Yeah, he owns a lot of Bitcoin. He's obviously very on side. That's why he's been buying for like years. So when you're very on side, it's like, man, I want to go all in. I want to go all in. But you never know, friends, when it comes to these people. He's a billionaire for a reason. You know, maybe he has this last minute awakening. He's not gonna come firm by the top. He'd probably do it in the bear market if he did it. And by the time the bear market comes, he won't. But it's gonna be interesting, right? Because a lot of people are gonna be following all these big popular people words. Yeah, you got to go in. You got to go all in. It's what we want, though. It's what we want. Not to actually go in, but to just see that. Ethereum ETF inflows, friends. Remember I said tiny $70 came in, which we totally believe that, but it was actually $70 million. But Bitcoin had a $616 million outflow, as I told you earlier. Now, some Elon Musk news. So Elon Musk, friends, and DOGE. Okay, let's actually just listen to him in the Him with President Pump. Check it out.
Well, let me say perhaps a few words that this is not the end of DOGE, but really the beginning. My time as a special government employee necessarily had to end. It was a limited time thing. It's 134 days, I believe, which ends in a few days. So that it comes with a time limit. But the DOGE team will only grow stronger over time. The DOGE influence will only grow stronger. I'd liken it to sort of Buddhism. It's like a way of life.
So DOGE, friends, DOGE. So the truth about DOGE, I've already reported it for you many times. Highest value content in crypto. He did not audit the Department of Defense, the DOD, the DOD, and he did not audit the DOE, Department of Estrogen, otherwise known as the Department of Energy. Okay. If you audited them, you would see what Catherine Fitz and literally everyone else can see. That $21 trillion has been siphoned through and unaccounted for like decades. So he has, golly gee, I got to the DOD's office. They put a gun to my head, told me to turn back the other way, bro. So obviously, like, that's what I said. He either knows about it or they put a gun to his head. They go, guess what? We'll take you and the president out. Because basically they can do that. That's why I think they're all on the same team, friends. It's very obvious they're on the same team. It's just political theater. I'm fighting for the people. I don't believe it, dude. You can't believe it, by the way. We actually have evidence, dude. $21 trillion is literally freaking missing, bro. 21 trillion. Where did it go? Right? It's kind of funny. Everyone says, where did it go? Where did it go? We know it went, bro. What do you mean, where did it go? 21 trillion, okay? Like, friends, if your government took 21 trillion from you, they better be building something that works. You better be able to, like, actually rewind time and hop across space-time, which I'm 99.99999% confident. I'll bet all three of my testicles. Yes, that's where the money went. It's not even like bet. You don't even need a bet. It's like very obvious. What is he going to spend 21 trillion on? You know, friends, these politicians, they're getting bribed for like $20,000, $60,000. A lot of the politicians, right? Some of them cost like, only the top big ones, like Marco Rubio, costs like $1 million to bribe because they're so popular. But you know where everything else is going, okay? They're not giving 21 trillion to politicians. Yeah, they're obviously deep underground military bases get built. They're called the DUMBs. You have all the UFO tech, anti-gravity, all the DEWs, directed energy weapons. You know, all this stuff comes to the territory. You're number one world power. You got to do this, right? So instead, what does DOGE come out and do? It comes out and says, we found people who said they were 120 years old and they were collecting social security, but there's nothing there. Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, a few people rorting it. Yeah, so that's it, right? But like I said, if you're a blue pill cuck, you're going to eat it up. Oh, thank you. I feel so good now. Thank you. But you're a blue pill cuck. Yeah, that's... Okay, but look. Like I say, friends. Blue pill life, it's nice and it's cozy when you don't know anything. It's nice and cozy, isn't it? Yeah. Just like when you're an actual cuck. You know, like if you just... Okay, like, you know, your wife comes home at 10 o'clock, goes to sleep. You're like, oh, there's a human body next to me in bed, you know, and in the morning we're having breakfast together. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, but then, you know, do you want to see her phone? You know, she left Snapchat on. She sent everybody but you the videos. You know what I mean? And that's not you, dude. You know, that's not you in the video. Right? And it can't be you because there's like 6 guys. You see what I mean? Like, do you want to see that? Like, it's there though. It's there's 2 aspects of life. Some people like, and look, honestly, if a blue pillar, it can get very nihilistic because they're like, well, they might even like, you know, throw this out to you. They go, well, look, you notice this life is just, when you're constantly red pilling, you're just going further and further down rabbit holes. And you're like peeling back the mask and it's always worse. You know, it's always like, oh, that's not good. You know what I mean? Like it is that. That's the truth, right? It's not all roses and fairies every single time. And maybe blue pillars, they're like, look, man, I'm just where we're all eventually going to be. You know, because if you keep digging, that's the truth. Actually, probably how society works, right? What we even put on Earth. If we keep digging, we'll probably find something where we're like, yeah, shouldn't have learned that. You know what I mean? So Everybody gets to keep doing what they're doing. But here's the thing, man. Everybody's dealing with these currency units. We're basically enslaved, right? Do you want to run the race with all the rats? That's the question, though. You can actually escape. You can escape the matrix, as Andrew Tate says. You can. But for how long? Don't worry about that part. But like, just think about, okay, what do you want to do for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? You know, we're all taking a punt here. Crypto's going to keep growing. That's our punt. You know, what's your punt? Your punt that the government's going to give you something entertaining to watch on TV in 6 months from now. People whose brains are hardwired to just like keep optimizing for that. They're going to keep spinning their wheels, you know. You're going to get backaches. You won't be able to go on that roof anymore as you get older. You know, your wages didn't keep up with the real inflation, which is the money debasement, because you've been lied to as well by the kippy. You know, that's why, friends, whenever I talk to normies, you know, and out here, I'm like, bro, CPI is not 3%, okay? Your wage goes up 3%. The real CPI is actually 8%, okay? That's money debasement. So that, you know, that 5% every year, that's been compounding against you since 2008, and you don't even know it, right? And it's going to keep compounding until all the debt is paid. And guess what? They've been putting some, like, strangely suspicious things out there in society that are lowering the life expectancy rates, which is convenient if you want to get rid of a debt, isn't it? Kind of funny. So, friends, remember, like, you've got a debt. What do? Okay, you can try stall how long you can pay that debt for. That's what the government's trying to do. But there's another option too. How about you try to actually, like, kill the person you owe money to? Okay, just think about the incentives and how they line up. Also makes you think about the zombie virus a bit differently when it comes to that. So, you know, Elon Musk saying he's disappointed to see the government's new massive spending bill. This increases the budget deficit and undermines the work of DOGE. He says DOGE will reduce $1 trillion of waste and fraud. It's just getting started. I don't think so, bro. I don't think there's that. Just to tell you, friends, people have actually dug into the stuff. You can't actually chop that much. You can't. They've actually gone that there's not actually... I know the government's wasteful, but it's not as wasteful as we think. As you think. You're like, oh, you probably think, oh, there's all these politicians, they're buying like $15 million Ferraris. No. There is some waste and corruption stuff nowhere near the level you think. It's like, it's not going to change anything, right? It's just going to make you feel a bit good. Also, how do you know part of the waste is just funneling to deep state military tech? You don't know, so you don't know that number as well. So how much waste people think there is? They're like, oh, where this $400 million and stuff go? Is it all corruption? Or, you know, it goes to one of the Coconut Intelligence Agency funding networks out in Europe, and they do some, you know, tornado cash equivalents with Russia, Ukraine stuff. So that's all that unaccounted stuff. Let's check out more Elon Musk crap.
So, you know, I was like disappointed to see the massive spending bill, right? So
spending. They always have to keep spending. It's pretty much coming out here. Occupy Mars. Remember, friends, he's wearing an Occupy Mars shirt. Interesting, bro. What do you... It's psyops, bro.
The massive...
we already have... Remember, friends, I made that UFO video. There are bones on Mars. Actual bones on Mars. So that tripped me out. We have, you know, fossils on Mars. Because a lot of Bible ancient scriptures say we actually came from there. And some humans, right, some of us, our circadian rhythm is more closely, I think most, is more closely linked to Mars. Yeah. It's Mars's 24-hour spin. Earth is like 23.5 hours. Also, our back problem stuff. Our gravity, I think, on Earth is a bit heavier. So I think genetically as well, we got more back problems than if we just lived on Mars. So I didn't know all these things before. I was just like everyone else, man, like going around like, oh yeah, when I hear this, I'm like, that's kook, that's boring, no evidence. It used to be like that. Then I started digging. I was like, okay, dude. One story or two stories, okay. You know, you're a nut job. She didn't really remote view that, you know, MH370, whatever. One or two stories, okay. Bro, friends, I'm up to like story number like 450. So many things cross-corroborating. Different continents and different languages across different times are saying the same shit. Okay? And the government has a, you know, very common habit of anybody who they don't like, Yeah, they'll tell you stop listening to them. And they're people that I like. Oh, Bob Lazar. Government says, no, discredit. And then people they put up to the front of the news, like Lou Elizondo, right? People end up like digging research on them and they slip up in some places. And they're like, oh, you're just a plant. Like we knew a Coconut Intelligence Agency disinformation agent. So it's this constant game of psyops. It's to stall us. But then, you know, get a bit of insight. Now you kind of maybe know why there's psyops, all of these. Because, you know, China and Russia trying to reverse engineer the tech too. And probably America's like, nah, what if they just need, what if they're in the final 20% of completion before this stuff and we give them the idea of what to do? So the stakes are very, very high. It's they're running a Cold War. And don't forget, no one's ever going to go to jail for this stuff because they just easily just tell the American people if one day it ever came out, they go, oh, it was national security. They're like, oh, we had information that China had built a UFO tech just like the fake, remember friends, the weapons of mass destruction that Saddam Hussein didn't have. Oh, he's got weapons of mass destruction. We've got to go in. They could go do that same bullshit lie. They go, oh, China's actually researched this anti-gravity tech. They're planning to take over New York. We had to go in there and do something, right? Now, I probably won't get to that extreme, but just, you know what it is, man? They just pay for all the deep state programming. And then everybody, because you're a blue pill cuck, you just like take their blue pill every single time. Just believe everything. Talking about cucks, JP Mosquito CEO Jamie Dildo says the US government shouldn't be stockpiling Bitcoin. We should be stockpiling guns, bullets, tanks, planes, drones, rare earth. So obviously he's full of shit because he's probably DCA buying with JP Mosquito as well. It's kind of funny. His opinion means nothing. I don't know why people keep bringing him up. I think JP Mosquito was like, it was public enemy number one back in like 2017 cycle. That was like the main enemy. And so Bitcoiners, I guess who were buying Bitcoin at like a couple of $100, they remember that. That was it. Like that, they remember that 2017 mania. But there's so many new people in here. Like here's the thing, friends. Nobody in Solana trenches. We don't care about people like that. But Jamie Dillon, you're literally irrelevant. Like a dinosaur relic. No one gives a shit. But it's all the legacy. That's funny. We have crypto legacy media like Cointelegraph. People been around since then. They still think people care about it. But no one actually does. Now we care about new stuff like James Wynn. That's right, baby dolls. I'm going to come and show you what's going on with James Wynn. Now, James Wynn, friends, salutations. The end of an era. James Wynn has closed all of his positions. He's officially done. He is driving Uber now. James Wynn is approaching with your order from Chipotle Mexican Grill. So, yeah, man, it's wild, man. To think 7 days ago, he had $95 million in unrealized money in his account. And now he's got $22. The greatest to ever do it. James Wynn. So, oh, man, he's a living legend. He's a living legend. What I love is people go through that state of denial when they come across him. I went through it too. I go, there's no way this is real. He has to be hedged somewhere. It's some sort of, it has to be a market maker fund, someone doing it. And then you keep researching and then you're like, oh no, it's real. Oh crap, it's way worse than I could possibly imagine for him. Oh my God. Bitcoin did a range of $5,000. Okay. It's a 5% range. It went from like 108K to like 103, right? Literally $5,000 range, 5%. And he blew his whole account in that. Can you believe it? How do you lose like 15 million? Actually, it's 85 million unrealized. How do you lose that in a 5% Bitcoin range? Oh my gosh. And he did 40x leverage. That's how. If 40x leverage, a 2.5% move wipes you completely. So he's trying to pick a bottom and it just goes an extra amount. Oh man, so stay away from that leverage trading, friends. Check this out though. All of these, and they will still underperform buying and holding. What's going on here? So I don't know what this is. Is this some sort of like gathering event, live streaming out here? All these events and monitors and all these. Yeah, friends, I got a lot of people want to see my setup, but I can't show anyone. I can't. not gonna give away. I can't give away the magic. You know what I mean? But dude, friends, I went from 0 superstition to now 400% superstition as I got older. I've just seen too many stuff, dude. There are people, friends. Have you ever been evil-eyed? Have you ever been evil-eyed? People who've been, you know what that is, right? You just know there's something, like, there are different, there is a certain people, they give you the ain. You know that. You know. Like, you go tell them about something, or they just, you know, they'll come in contact with you, and then literally just bad shit starts happening. And it's like, yeah, I've known this for like many, I never used to believe it. I never used to believe it until I started hearing from someone else, and I started correlating some stuff. I'm like, no way. No way. I mean, just random stuff. I don't know. Probably some of them could be listening to here. I'm just like, I don't want to put any names. They probably don't even know they ain't themselves. Okay. I'm telling you, okay. This is 100% fact. Okay. Everything's going smooth and normal. You go see them, meet up, you know, and then just stuff happens, you know, almost get into a car accident, like just get sick somewhere, you know, just something just like at home just breaks, just this random shit, like, you know, oh, like, what the hell, how'd that break, you know, or why that, not poltergeist stuff, but as in like, that's just weird, all these like things are happening, right? Other people have got me I've heard many other experiences as well. But it's also funny, friends, I'm sure you guys got stories as well. Whenever I drop this stuff, what actually amazes me, you guys got some absolute, guys and girls have some absolute cracker stories of some things you've been through. Like, I'm just touching on the surface of what actually goes on there. I want to show you now a collection of influencers who think it's all over. So Chimzu, friends, actually interesting. He used to be one of the world's best crypto traders. He was on the BitMEX leaderboard. Okay, Chimzu, I remember his name. He's actually on the BitMEX leaderboard. He had accumulated like multiple thousand BTC, do you know that? But then I think what actually happened is poor guy got liquidated. Okay, so I don't know the exact number, but I think what ended up happening was he was super leveraged long BTC, and it might have been on this move down, how Bitcoin kept going down here. And then I think that got him out. I think, yeah, I forgot exactly how much BTC. Maybe it was like 1,000 or 4,000. Yeah, and I think like 95, 98% wipeout on. I think. But now he runs like a trading thing now. Very expensive to do it, but obviously don't do it. But yeah, shout out to Chims if you're watching. But yeah, I think it was back then. It was like 1 BTC to join the group, and Bitcoin was like 15K. So it's still like, don't pay 15K to join the group, friend. Go buy the Bitcoin, right? But yeah, he's been bullish this whole time, by the way. He was bullish his whole, but he's lost his edge, okay? He's not, because back then the trading price action was totally different, okay? He was bullish this whole time. Now he's just calling for bear. I don't know if it's a meme word, but could be. That's why I thought it was just a meme, but I saw all these other people. Altcoin Sherpa, see you guys at 50K. They all think it's over here. Remember, friends, even Blockchain Backer thinks it's over next month. He goes, oh, but we're going to go 50K, but first we'll hit 130, then 50. Uncle Bobby thinks it's all over as well. Many people think it's all over. Chief Rat, Bitcoin couldn't do it. Could it? Go down here and repeat the last cycle. See, bearish. Now influencer number 4. Tyler, Stragelli, Bitcoin. See you guys at 30K. Yeah, so everyone's got that. So it could be, I don't think it all just means that big red arrow meme stuff. But yeah, I wanted to show that here just to you because it's good. Everybody says it's over. It's actually wonderful. I'm just noticing as well, friends, this Sol ETH ratio is only 2.5% away from flipping red on the weekly super trend. Remember, the first one was a fake out, like rare weekly super trend fake outs, right? So that's why you got a Hail Mary, you know, look, just to show you again, right? If you didn't exit your soy here, you got Trump to launch a coin on the whole chain and like give you like a Hail Mary for the chain. So if it flips red again, it gives you that second chance. But also because it's a Sol ETH ratio, not Sol BTC, you got to be careful as well because it doesn't necessarily have to retrace because ETH is an altcoin as well. There you go, baby dolls. Like, subscribe, baby button, all. Catch you soon.